Hello and welcome to another video review for Jenkins Home Theater. Now for today we're doing a movie that's been out for a little while. I think it came out in 93, 94. I am a little embarrassed to say I haven't watched this movie because it does have a lot of great scenes and I have been told multiple times I should watch it. And that movie is True Romance, which stars Christian Slater and Patricia Arquette and is written by Quentin Tarantino. Now, I think Tarantino's great. He's a great writer. He's a great director. I just rarely rewatch his movies. Pulp Fiction is probably the only one I ever rewatch. So, there is that. I think most of his films are great first-time watches or great to watch the first time. And then the desire to rewatch this isn't there for me. That could be different for you, but that's fine. Just his movies aren't really a rewatch thing for me, but he is great, and some of the stuff he writes. And while he didn't direct this one, he did write it, like I said, and it's definitely got that Tarantino feel to it. So now, synopsis of the movie. I'm going to read off the synopsis for that IMDb has here. And it says, in Detroit, a lonely pop culture geek marries a call girl, steals cocaine from her pimp, and tries to sell it in Hollywood. Meanwhile, the owners of the cocaine, the mob, track them down in an attempt to reclaim it. Pretty much describes the movie. So you have the beginning. He meets the girl, goes after the pimp, gets the cocaine. Then they travel to Hollywood. That's like pretty much the second act is traveling to Hollywood, getting to Hollywood. And then the third act is the mob finding them, yada, yada, yada. It is a good movie. Like I said, Christian Slater is awesome in it. Patricia Arquette, to me, gets kind of annoying in some scenes, but overall, good performance. One of my biggest complaints about this movie is that you have this awesome supporting cast consisting of like Brad Pitt, Christopher Walken, Gary Oldman, all of whose characters made me laugh, they were awesome. And I hate that we only got one or two good scenes, not just good scenes, but one or two scenes from them. And they were like the best part of the movie, in my opinion. And there's just not enough of them. So I wish there would have been more of that. But I understand the story isn't about them. It's the main characters played by Christian Slater and Patricia Arquette. So understandable. I just wish there was more. Another thing that was odd to me was the music choice. So there's this super upbeat song that plays every time the two main characters are together on the screen. And this song actually plays during a scene where she's crying, complaining, like telling Christian Slater about her life, how she's a call girl and how sad she is and how she's falling in love, but yeah, and all this stuff. And this super upbeat song is playing. I'm like, it just doesn't fit to me. So on that, please do comment and let me know what you think of that. I'm curious to see if I'm the only one on that. It just felt really odd to me that the song would play during that scene. Like, it didn't bother me in some of the other scenes, but like in that specific scene, it just was very odd to me. Now, Christian Slater's character at the beginning works at a comic book store. And actually, the owner of the comic book store is the one that bought the call girl for him. And it was for his birthday and stuff. So, obviously, the guy at the comic book store likes him. He's a good employee and stuff like that. But I just, if he's this good of an employee stuff, what he does with Patricia Arquette in the comic book store is a little odd then to me for the character. He shows her a Spider-Man #1, which Spider-Man #1, if it's an Amazing Spider-Man #1, they don't say which Spider-Man #1 is, but you have to assume it's Amazing Spider-Man #1. Today sells for, I think, over $100,000. I don't know what it was selling for in 94, 93, but I can't imagine it was a cheap book then either. It was probably up in value there. And anybody who collects comics, works with comics, knows that every time you take it out of that bag and board, you're decreasing the value. Every time you open that book up and go through it, you're decreasing the value. he lets this girl take it out of the bag and board and just start going through the pages. I'm like, you're either like a very bad employee, which apparently he's not if his boss is ordering him call girls and stuff and bad for him, or you just don't care. Which to me is odd too, because he definitely gives off that vibe that he's like all into the pop culture stuff and definitely enjoys working at the comic book store. So it was just odd to me that scene even happened. It is like it's kind of critical to like the character development, I think, towards the relationship building. It was just odd to me, the whole spider, like him opening up the Spider-Man and letting her just go through it was odd to me, especially since I used to collect comics and it made me cringe. So overall, I did enjoy this movie. I would give it kind of an 8 out of 10. I will probably not rewatch it, at least not anytime soon, which is how I generally am with Tarantino style films. They're great films to watch, and I usually only watch them once. Pulp Fiction I've watched multiple times, but honestly other Tarantino films I think I've watched once. So rewatchability probably not very high, but it is an 8 out of 10 overall for the movie. So if you haven't watched it and you don't mind Tarantino language and stuff like that, definitely worth a watch. But like I said, it is Tarantino language because he is a screenwriter, so just expect a lot of cussing and a lot of racial words. But like I said, definitely worth a watch. So go ahead and comment below with what you thought, what you think of this movie, and then we can start a conversation there. Please like the video as well as subscribe to the channel. A couple days ago we did post the review for Jaws, talked about Jaws, had my 8-year-old son watch Jaws. So we did post that one. If you haven't watched that one, go watch it, like that one. And then subscribe so you know what's coming up. I will be on vacation for the next week, so I'm hoping to have some videos scheduled to get posted while I'm gone. But keep tabs on the Twitter and the Instagram, which are in the links below in the video. Give me a follow there. That way you kind of know when things are going on as well. But if you do subscribe to the channel and have notifications on, you'll obviously know. So that would be your first step there. Thank you for watching all the way through this video, making it here to the end. And we will catch you next time in the Jenkins Home Theater.